What is up? What is going on? How's everyone doing today? So I'm gonna decide I'm going solo, so I'm gonna try to see how long I can keep this going on my own here. Jimmy's driving, Dan and Todd and everybody's at the game enjoying the victory we just had. And man, Packers pull out a last minute victory against the Saints, 17-18. Man, Jordan Love, 22 for 44, 259, touchdown, interception, and rushed a touchdown as well, too. I think he ran for 39 yards. Was our leading rusher as well, too. Um, all in all, there's a lot of pros, a lot of cons, and a lot of what the fucks during this game. I think one of the pros that we saw was how for years we would see this team get punched in the mouth and just crumble. And we got punched in the mouth. I mean, the three and out to start off the game was really great by the defense, but then the offense really couldn't answer. And then after that, that first half was just really terrible. If it wasn't for penalties, there was a whole bunch of no calls by the referees and by the officials. And man, it just seemed like, this was a game that the Packers were destined to lose, and we were about to have a blemish on our season openers and just the whole 9 yards. Just looked like it was just a real terrible situation. But we come out in that second half, and yeah, some things had to break our way, i.e., Derek Carr getting hurt, but Jameis Winston is a former first round pick, first overall pick. Guy was a legit football player. Unfortunately, they just couldn't get it done. I want to give credit to Joe Barry and his defense for having, what was it, five three and outs. But the truth is like, having Jameis Winston back there was a lot different than Derek Carr. But they did what they had to do to get us back in the game, and the offense really showed up. I have to admit the resilience that this team showed, the never quitting, and just really pushing through and finding a way to get a victory. That's to say something because we haven't really seen that in the past with Matt Fleur-led teams. A lot of the comments about coaches like Dan Campbell and Robert Saleh saying they just have to take us off in the deep end and see if we can tread water or we sink. And we proved that we could. And we got a real tough match coming up here against Detroit on Thursday night. And man, I gotta admit, like I was beside myself for those first three quarters. I mean, the truth is like, Jordan Love's numbers were, he was 50% completion. I get all that, but his receivers really didn't help him out, not until the end of the game. I mean, he was throwing some really, really nice balls on the money, and guys were dropping the ball. Malik Heath had a number of drops. Jalen Reed really he had a really bad game until he came up in the fourth quarter with a real clutch catch. But I have to admit, like, Romeo Dobbs, I mean, like I said, all in all, it was a real disjointed game. We didn't see uh, mistake-free football on the offense, defense, and special teams. Special teams giving up a punt return. I mean, Rashid Shaheed is a legit football player. He's extremely fast, and for him to do what he did, I was really impressed. And like I said, fourth quarter, third and fourth quarter, Packers turned it around, got the game, got it done. And just listening to Rashawn Gary at the end of the game, listening to Jordan Love, listening to Coach, they know that this is going to be a quick turnaround. We got to only enjoy this for a little bit because you got Detroit Lions coming here, and we got to be ready to play a real dogfight for 60 minutes again. And, Detroit really manhandled Atlanta, team that we were manhandled until the fourth quarter last week. And I know we got a real true test coming up ahead of us. And man, I just can't wait. I mean, I have to admit, um, I was definitely like, wow, all right, well, this ain't gonna look good for us. And then my pick'ems for the year, I did say that we were gonna lose to the Saints, and I'm happy that they proved me wrong. A lot of people have been saying that the Packers are gonna have these like growing pains on offense, on defense, special teams. Special teams and defense, you don't expect it because of all the veteran assistants we have there. But on offense, you knew you're going to have these moments. But for them to come back, really just, dig deep and just play our brand of football and not let the adversity take over and just quit, I have to admit, man, like that is something we haven't seen. I love it. I just love it. And Jordan Love he's the real deal, man. I have to admit, like, yeah, there were some throat balls he wish he could have had back. And I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks in this league have had made, balls they wish they could have back, right? But the truth of the matter is that when he needed to make the plays, he needed to get it done. He did it. And it didn't matter if he was throwing it, if he was running it, it didn't matter. He did whatever he had to do to get the Packers back on top. And man, 2-1. I think there's a lot of people in this atmosphere in this landscape that didn't see us 2-1 right now. And I have to admit, I'm just just really proud of this team. I'm really proud of just being a Packers fan. I'm proud of all our folks that are at the game or in Green Bay enjoying themselves, and everyone else all around the world just watching this game and just really taking it in and enjoying it. Um, but man, it was seeing at the end of the fourth quarter, you saw that AJ Dillon wasn't getting a lot of carries, and I kind of wonder if he did get benched, and if he did, really looking forward to seeing if Aaron Jones comes back and seeing how that kind of plays into the rotation. I thought Emmanuel Wilson looked good. I know Patrick Taylor had some mishaps, had some mistakes, but all in all, the offense looked like it clicked a lot better with 27 and with 31 out there in comparison to having, 28. And I hate to say that, but you know what? This is a result-based business. And the truth is that if you're not getting it done, there's a next man up. Or as Joe Barry's cornball has always say, there's starters in waiting. And it's true. On defense, we had that. I mean, with Jair not playing was a big blow to our defense. And then on top of that, too, we had Carrington Valentine come out, and I was really looking forward to seeing him play. And then he got hurt. Devontae Campbell getting hurt. This team was down so many starters, and not just starters, but I'm talking about all pro, Pro Bowl, marquee talent players. You're talking about down our number one receiver, our number one running back, left guard, left tackle, then starting middle linebacker, starting corner, then backup corner. Then it just kept going and going and going. And for us to be in this situation where we were able to capitalize on those adverse situations that were impacting our team and just don't come back with a victory. I said it today. The truth of the matter is that this team is winning games at 50, 60%. Imagine at 100% how great we're going to be. It's going to be, I don't think people are going to be ready for it, to be completely honest with you. I'm really, really looking forward to seeing what this Packers team can really do here in the upcoming weeks. Because all these things that occurred, even with the Atlanta loss, that team learned from that. Even with this, down for 17 points for the majority of the game and to still come back and win that game. Yeah, by 1 point, but the fact of the matter is you still won. And to be able to kind of draw back on that throughout the season, knowing that, hey, we're a young team, but it's like one of those things like Jack Handy, like, I'm good enough, I'm strong enough, and I know people like me. But the truth is, the team was able to show that no matter how bad it gets, there's always a chance. And like our Grand Pumbaa or the one of the goats in this industry, Aaron Nagler always says, there's a lot of ball game left. And you know what? There was a lot of ball game left, and middle of third quarter, I really thought, man, we might have a shot. Just have to get some things to go our way, and it did. So, I'm really looking forward to seeing what this Packers team is going to show us in the next upcoming weeks. I can't wait to see how LaFleur is going to be able to take from these moments and show not just Jordan Love, but the rest of the team, the things that they could. It's all about never being, complacent or stagnant in the way you play games. It's about really taking it to the next level and understand, hey, you got to learn from your mistakes, but you got to have a very much like a short-term memory when it comes to them, almost like a cornerback, right? Or like what they say, the goldfish, right? Have a short-term memory because guess what? The next play is coming, or the next team or next game is coming, and you have to be ready and prepared to show out 60 minutes, week in and week out. And man, I have to admit, like this was a fun game. It sucked in the beginning, but in the end, I think those that stuck around, those that were, committed, true loyal Packer fans, guess what? It came through. And I had people just messaging me left and right, Saints fans and other fans of other teams that are just hating on the Packers, and they're talking a lot of shit, you know what I'm saying? And people were hating on Jordan Love. That's another thing. This was the first time I think in Jordan's career where he played against a top five defense. Like the Saints defense is legit. I mean, even with them being down two starters, that defense is well coached. And they were giving us some fits all game. But the gamer that he is, the baller that Jordan Love is, and just the team kind of rallying around him and doing what they needed to do to help make us successful kind of really just shows you where we're going to be here going forward. Like I feel like for a long time, you did have to have 12 kind of like carry this team in a lot of aspects. And then if it wasn't 12, you would just need certain things to kind of go our way. And I feel like even though we have a great young quarterback on Jordan Love, he knows that he doesn't have to do it all by himself. He knows that he has the players around him to get where he needs to go and for the Packers to get where they need to go. And man, I was impressed. I'm not gonna lie. I was impressed. I was definitely, in my feelings there those first three quarters. I think like a lot of us were. But for us to come out strong, to end that game the way we did, you can't ask for a better way to end our Sunday. And so I hope everyone that's in Green Bay right now is having an amazing time. I think all of us should have a victory drink, have a, whatever your choice is, whatever your poison you want it to be. Get some carry the G beer, get some spotted cow, get some shots, whatever you need. But I was gonna say this was a one hell of a game, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do going forward from here. Defensively, I felt like Kenny Clark had a pretty good game. I mean, he came out on fire, and I don't think that fire ever went out. He was on one. The penalties really, really, really killed us on both sides of the field, where we really need to get more discipline in doing things. And I do feel like some of those calls were very, very ticky-tacky against us because you did see a pretty big disparity when it came to the penalties against the Saints and the Packers. But at the end of the day, sometimes you have to do that as a team, right? You have to be able to not only overcome your own adversity when your team isn't clicking, that people are, having mental errors or missed assignments, things like that. But sometimes you got to overcome the crowd, you got to overcome the refs, you got to overcome all these things that are going against you. And there's definitely that like us against the world mentality. And it seems like the Packers did it. Yeah, it was a drawn out fight against a really good football team that's well coached and has a lot of good talent across the board. And they're banged up too. And they're missing a lot of guys too. But they took us to the brink, and we were able to kind of stay up on top and come back and get the job done. I think that's the most important thing. Um, I have to admit, like our backups that came in, Corey Ballantyne, other guys like that. I mean, they did serviceable. They did the best they could, and I think they played well. I definitely feel like 55 needs to learn how to set an edge. JJ Gambaro is an amazing football player, but sometimes these guys really, they just play with their hair on fire. And sometimes they always say, if you're gonna make a mistake, do it 100 miles an hour, right? Anything you do, mistake, whatever the case may be, always do it 100 miles an hour. Because even if you make a mistake, if you're showing 100% effort, it's really all that matters at times. And that effort sometimes can overcome those mistakes. I feel like at times we were definitely getting exposed in the run game. Joe Barry was consistently playing 5 to 15 yards off. I say that range because normally it's about 10 yards off, and trying to keep everything in front of you. But I have to admit, like when they played man up press, they got the job done. And the thing is, you're going to have offenses that are going to capitalize. I mean, that one-handed catch by Chris Olave down the sideline, you can't. I mean, you just got to tip your hat to that. You can't even be mad about that because Chris Olave is a legit wide receiver in this league, and that's a great ball and it was a great catch. But if you dictate and you push the actual, you bring the game to them instead of them bringing it to you. It's a completely whole nother world. And I really think that Barry's going to get a side on this, considering the fact that we were able, even though Winston came in, obviously he wasn't as prepared as Derek Carr was. They did have five, three and outs, and they were able to keep them in a long and distance field goal range to where they missed the field goal. And so because of that, I'm really, really looking forward to just seeing them just stack success because we have a short turnaround. The Detroit Lions are a legit team. Jared Goff is playing out of his mind. The defense on that for the Lions is taking a lot of hits. They're missing one of their top pass rushers. They missed one of their best cornerbacks slash safeties with Chauncey Gardner Johnson as well as James Houston. But that is a very talented football team with a great offensive line, well coached, and they really definitely get things done. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this pack of teams is able to stack success and take this to the next level, and where they will be able to kind of go from here and just kind of show the league what they can do. And let's not forget, guys, like and ladies, let's not forget that when we get after this Thursday, we're gonna have a mini bye, and then we don't play again until Monday night. And so when it comes to rest, we do have a lot of things going for us. And then we have our bye after that. So we have the Monday night game, then we have our bye. I'm just telling you, like, sometimes these early buys suck. And I think this year it's going to help us big time because we're going to need to hopefully get Elton back. Hopefully we'll see Christian Watson, Aaron Jones out there this week. And, hopefully Jaws back is feeling a lot better too. But the truth of the matter is that with the mini buy and then the buy, hopefully we'll be kind of coming back to full strength here coming up in week 6. week 7 because man, like I really don't think the league is ready to see what the Packers can do with the full deck. Because right now we're 2-1 with half a deck and just, clawing and scratching our way to victories here. And we could have easily been 3-0. We could easily have been 1-2. I get it. But truth of the matter is that, this team is really, really starting to put things together and they're just not letting getting punched in the mouth really stop them from going to the next step. So, this is my first time doing this solo. I'm gonna make it a quick one here. I miss my boys here. I miss Dan. I miss Jim, Jimmy, I miss Todd. Hopefully, we can all get back together here by next week, and then maybe I can be on this Wednesday. But go Pack! Looking forward to all the victory celebrations today and hearing all the interviews from all the guys after the game. And if you have them, smoke them, drink them, do whatever you gotta do. Enjoy yourselves, have a great time, be safe, don't drink and drive, and I can't wait to just ride this roller coaster ride that's going to be the Green Bay Packers of the 2023-2024 season. Have a great one, guys. Take care and go Pack.